In today's video, we're going to go over my attempt at painting this AR pistol. We'll discuss what worked, what didn't work, and what I'd do different next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe if this is useful to you. Now, let's get to it. I'm going to be painting this pistol with Aluma-Hyde from Brownell's. I only want the main components like the upper and lower receivers and handguard to be painted. I did not want the controls like the safety bolt catch or trigger to be painted. I already began masking the holes to keep the paint out. So, as an example, here's a lure I got. I put a toothpick through where the bolt catch goes to kind of keep everything out of where the roll pin goes. I have had some foam from a scope package that I got that I have used to fill in the other holes where the other controls will be and the magazine. I'm hoping the foam will actually keep the paint out. I don't really want to try and put tape in there because painter's tape kind of sucks at sticking in place. For the trigger, I actually put a piece of foam in the trigger housing, and I took some extra pins that I had, put a little bit of foam on them so they'd stay in place, and just gently hammered them into place. So once the new stuff comes, since I've got anti-walk pins that are going in there, then I can just knock these out of place and I'm not going to have any paint in there. So here's what I've got so far and what I've assembled. The stainless steel barrel was the only one I could find that I really liked from a reputable brand. This one is from Odinworks. I really liked it. It's a 300 blackout. It looks really nice, but this isn't what I want in the woods. Stainless steel isn't exactly non-reflective. So my original plan was to use some cold bluing to blue it first, and then if some paint got on it, so be it. That didn't work. Even though I degreased it ahead of time, there must be some coating on it or something like that. I had read that you could blue stainless steel without a problem. Maybe I didn't read correctly. It turns out one part you can't see because it's covered by the barrel nut, but one part up here actually did blue, just a little bit. So I have to assume that there's some kind of coating that was stopping that from happening to the rest of it. So my plan is to paint the barrel first, just the base coating that the rest of the rifle is going to have, and then I'm going to put the handguard on and then paint everything from there. Alright, so first I've got some soap and a toothbrush here. That's what I'm going to use to degrease. It's dish soap. It's supposed to degrease stuff. I've got some water to kind of rinse it off, and I've got this wonderful roll of paper towels to dry it off when I'm done. So we will start with this piece here, and all I'm trying to do is get the outside surface areas so hopefully the paint will stick to it and it won't look like absolute crap. As it turns out, this step was completely unnecessary, so we'll skip this part. I collected a branch off of a bald cypress, a fern, and a large oak tree in order to create the camouflage pattern I wanted. After spending all that time cleaning my parts with soap and water, I read that the best thing to clean the parts with was acetone, so I got to wipe them down a second time. I needed to both hang the gun and plug the barrel to avoid getting any paint in it. I accomplished this by taking a chopstick, wrapping it in one of my shop rags, and tucking it into the barrel. This gave me something that both plugged the barrel and gave me a point that I could anchor it for hanging. Keep in mind that this is a lightweight gun, so the same may not work for anything heavier, but hey, if you want to risk it, you do you.
It was at this point that I learned that tying a knot while wearing a rubber glove was quite a challenge. Did I mention how much trouble I was having tying knots with a rubber glove on?
Hold on. Is that a pistol brace on that short-barreled AR pistol? Why, it is.
But it's also August 20th, 2023, and there's currently an injunction against the ATF and their unconstitutional overreach for anyone who is a member of these fine freedom-loving groups. And I might be a member of all of them. If you are not, this might be the point in time to question your own decision-making paradigm. Also, this gun has no trigger, no bolt carrier, and I only attached this brace so I had something to hang it from.
I chose dark parkerizing gray as the base coat for the pistol.
So I noticed I was getting paint spatter on the gun, and upon looking at how I was spraying, it turned out that the rubber glove was hanging over the spout, causing it to build up and making a big mess. So I ditched the rubber glove, cleaned the spout, and started all over again. So much for having clean hands.
I tried to get every nook and cranny with the base coat.
Now, one of the unique things about the Aluma-Hyde paint is that being an epoxy-based paint, it can easily clog up the spray cans after a single use. So they sell clean-out nozzles that you are meant to put on top of the can, turn upside down, and spray until no spray comes out. You'll notice that I do this after every can I change, and that all the nozzles are kept in that jar that I've also filled with acetone. The next color I went to was brown earth. That's the sound of frustration, folks. The first spray out of that can threw spatter everywhere. So, I've now learned that the first spray out of the can needs to be tested somewhere until you get a consistent spray. From here on out, I'm going to use this box. So the plan here was to put brown stripes vertically across the pistol. These first two colors should have been the majority of the colors that were on the gun. Next color up is OD green, and for this I used a large oak leaf to try and create a pattern. Unfortunately, I learned that the large leaves don't really do a great job creating a pattern, or at least they didn't in my experience. The smell of the paint got a little strong, so I turned on a fan. Then it was on to the coyote. I really like this color because it's kind of a tan/gray, which I feel would hide very well in the woods. For this one, I used the pattern from the bald cypress branch. I did find over time that I got a lot of needles stuck in the paint, but they did manage to fall off later. Next, I used the wolf gray and the fern. I was really happy with the pattern that the fern came out with. I was not so happy with the wolf gray. Don't get me wrong, there was nothing wrong with the paint or the color. I just feel that I could have chosen a better color palette for this camouflage, as the gray ended up not really fitting in. That being said, my overall assessment of how well this was going was a little off. Even without speeding up the footage, it would probably seem like I was rushing this a little bit, which I was, because the instructions said that you really needed to apply this within half an hour. So last up was the final step, which was adding the clear coat. So of course, this went everywhere. So having finished for the day and leaving it to dry, I initially thought it came out really good. However, when I came back and looked at it across the room, I realized that although I can see the pattern when looking up close, from a distance, it just looks OD green. I don't think I did a really good job breaking up the lines that well. Even though there are several colors in it, I think my mistake was choosing too many colors.
So what did I learn today? I learned rubber gloves suck. I learned you have to test your spray paint on something else before you put it on your project. And I learned that if you're doing camo on something, you should probably pick fewer colors. If I had it all to do again, I'd probably pick 3 primary colors. One that was dark, one that was medium, and one that was light. Unfortunately, in this case, I picked 5, and I ended up with a couple that kind of fill in between those shades. And I ended up with a gun that has a lot of pattern in it, if you look close, but it's just really kind of hidden. Now, if I went and threw it out in the woods, would it make it more difficult to find than a black rifle? Sure. Would it be impossible to find? No. Here's what I'm going to do. In part 2 of this video, I'm going to use this as the base coat. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to build some stencils, I'm going to pick some colors, and I'm going to see if I can fix it. If you want to see it, hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, like, share. If you have any comments, please put them below. Any questions, anything you want to see me do, I'm happy to help. But until then, I'll talk to you later.